luminosity. Not to put too fine a point on it, but how many of you have ever sat in a room, in a boardroom, and you have that idea that we talked about earlier, but you didn't say it? And then someone else did. Yes. Does it make you crazy? Is that you?
That's me.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, what? What just happened? Right? That's your luminosity moment. So what would have happened if you said it first? What's the worst, again, what's the worst thing that could happen? It comes down to what level am I willing to keep my voice quiet so that other people in the room can shine? And sometimes that's important too. I'm not diminishing the importance of, the boss, the vice president of sales. Make him look good, let him win at a golf game or whatever, right? But if you, or maybe not.
Super easy to be.
Okay, so that's an easy one. You're welcome. But if you think about it, it helps if it's not a micromanager, which don't assume that you are, again. I think it's really important to give people enough space and grace to say what's on their mind when they need to. And I'm sure that if somebody said something in a meeting and it wasn't appropriate or right, there would be a conversation. But if you have an idea and you want to share, there shouldn't be any bad ideas. So, and that's really what comes down to leadership, right? If you're with people who you trust and you feel secure and you have empathy with them and they for you, you have the ability to shine. Hit it. Okay, so the other piece about luminosity is how other people experience you. Notice I didn't say what they think of you. It's how they experience you. The difference being somebody might not think very much of you for whatever reason. But how they experience you is how they judge your credibility. How capable are you? How reliable are you? Your likability, your warmth. How do you make them feel? Your risk. Oh,
Jesus.
How much risk you're willing to take. So this is really important because when he's relinquished his board. So risk is really about how are the decisions that you make going to influence me? How are they going to impact me? Right? The worst thing in the world is to have leadership that makes decisions that are never going to work. Being in that position. So it's hard, right? It's hard. How much chance are they willing to take? And then the trustworthiness. What are their intentions? Are their intentions good? And fairness. So when you hold on to your confidence quotient, and again, this is not how much confidence you have, it's how people experience you. I had somebody working for me, and he would tell me, they just don't call me out. They won't take me out on appointments. They don't bring me in to see customers. And I don't, and I was like, well, let's talk about this a little bit. What do you think's really going on? Well, they just don't like me. Okay. What don't they like about you? What do you think? Well, I was late for that meeting one time and I didn't, and I thought to myself, perception's reality. It doesn't matter what you think of yourself, and it doesn't matter how much you think you're putting forth. It's what they see and what they experience. So I kind of got the impression that people didn't really like him because he was late. He probably talked too much in a meeting. Maybe he said the wrong things, whatever it might have been. But perception's reality. So as much as we say we don't care what people think, it's really important, especially when you're in business, especially when you're in sales. But even if you're not in, well, we're all in sales. I don't even care. If you're in marketing, IT, it doesn't matter. You have to sell something, yourself, your skills, your services. So for everybody in this room, as you're selling yourself, your stuff, your product, whatever it happens to be, think about how you're influencing other people and how they are experiencing you. That's a key piece. Okay, fortitude. This is the rebar. Excellent. This is the rebar. Really simple. It's standing tall and strong. Think about a rooted tree. I love the rebar example, though, not just because you're in construction. I use this for other people, too. But I love this. To me, this shows everything. This is your fortitude. Fortitude is different than resilience. Fortitude is standing tall in the moment, being ready for anything that comes your way. Resilience is after you've fallen, the ability to get back up and keep going. Fortitude is what I needed during my interviews. Resilience is what I needed after that phone call from Dave. Okay. Hit one more. Thank you. Okay, so stand up if you've ever failed at something. You got it. Okay, stay standing if that failure taught you something. Oh, excellent. Stay standing if you're better because of it. So look around. It's a lot of fortitude in this room. It's a lot of rebar. It's a lot of rebar. Okay, and last one. Now you can sit down if you would do it again. Anybody still standing? No. Yes, it worked. Oh, there you go. Okay, look. Wait, are you going to still stand? No, I mean, this is probably like close to the last slide. But would you like to share? How do you feel about sharing with the room what it was that?
I mean, I don't want to fail again.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it over again.
Okay, that one thing. But you would try other things and potentially fail. Nobody wants to fail. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to fail. But if you make yourself free to fail, if you allow yourself to fail, you allow yourself to learn. You don't get confidence by trying nothing, right? Yeah. You don't become better at something without trying. It's another way to look at it, right? Different perspective. Okay. So this framework, who has questions for me about the framework or about anything?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you go from acting confident to actually being confident?
So it's a skill. You just have to keep developing it over time. Every day, there's so many different exercises that you can do. And I would challenge you to ask yourself, which area do you feel like you want to improve in? Is it security? Maybe you don't feel safe in certain situations. Maybe you don't physically, mentally, maybe you don't feel safe. Is it empathy? Maybe you don't feel a lot for yourself. Maybe you don't know how to overcome your own anxiety or frustration with yourself or with others. Maybe there's difficult conversations that you have and you can't picture the person as a 5-year-old because you don't like them enough to even try to do that, right? We're being honest. So if you think about that, maybe it's empathy. Maybe you need more empathy. Is it luminosity? Are you dimming your light to make other people shine brighter? Or fortitude? Do you need to stand stronger and taller in the moment versus resilience, where you're picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and moving on? So there's, at the end of this here, there's feedback. So I want to get better as well. So other than the malarkey that we had at the beginning, I would greatly appreciate if you took out your phones and scanned that QR code and gave me some feedback. Be honest, I can take it, I'm strong. And when you do, there's a place to put your email. I will send you the Self-Confidence Blueprint workbook. It's a kind of a self-guided, interactive workbook that you can use. And there's an assessment in there to see what areas, either security, empathy, luminosity, or fortitude, that you might need to lean into a little bit more. And then the other is my website and LinkedIn. So I'd love to connect. What other questions do you have for me?
What's like a good first step to like being confident, especially I'll just like bring this like women in construction, like in a man-dominated world, like what would be kind of your recommendation to like, hey, here's some like, I don't know, training wheels.
Okay.
To like kind of enter the world.
Yeah.
Especially as like we're always trying to recruit younger generations and trying to get younger females into the industry. How?
You know, it's so interesting. I have a statistic. I didn't share it in here, but about the number of women and how since COVID, women's confidence between the ages of 11 and 18 has dropped. It has plummeted. And a lot of it is social media, right? They're trying to be something that they're not. They think that there's a different expectation for them than somebody else. I would love to see that turning. I mean, that would be, you know, obviously wonderful. I'd love to work more with younger people who feel that way. For women in general, I think it starts with your presence. I think that's a really big deal. And I don't think that we put enough emphasis. I'm not talking about how you look. I'm talking about your presence, looking people in the eye, standing with your shoulders back, not standing like this, right? This is a big problem for women. It really is. It kind of says, it just says I'm not confident. There's something, and it's kind of painful as you get older. But it's not, but I think flat-footed, I think somebody told me once that keeping your arms down at your sides is actually a very lack of confident move. You have to kind of have your arms more out here. Okay. I think it's also, so walking into a room and knowing that but I think it's the idea, they call it the broken arm, right? They call it right. Don't be afraid to take up space. Don't be afraid to let yourself be seen. And I think women have a tendency we minimize ourselves to make ourselves fit in versus taking up the space that we deserve. So if that means if the baby steps are more structural and more like an exercise, I know it sounds crazy, but this is a big thing. To walk out and just be like, I'm here, and shout it, and you're just by yourself, or walk your dog and whatever. But it's really about owning your space, because once you own your space, people are less likely to make you shrink to fit in. And don't apologize. This is something that I learned the hard way. Losing that job was a big blow for me. But it did help me. Now I look back and I failed, but I'm so happy that I failed. It's great. But in the moment, I thought, what did I do? There was a lot of frustration and aggravation with myself. But then I thought about my 5-year-old self. I'm like, have some empathy for her. What I believed they saw as lack of confidence, I said was humility. That's wrong, right? Why am I humble? I'm sure this guy went in there and he was like, I'm great. I'm awesome. I can do this. I think he lasted 8 months. So we do this. We have a tendency to minimize ourselves. So changing your presence and how you stand. You don't seem like you have any of these issues, I will just tell you just from looking. But because you've been sitting up straight, you're not slinking, hands in the pockets, things like that. Try not putting your hands in pockets anymore. Women who put their hands in pockets or do this or, right, something, or holding a phone or something. Right, exactly, that's right. So those are, I think it starts with presence. I think it starts with believing in yourself that you can do whatever comes your way. Take the words like out of your vocabulary. Take the words out of your vocabulary. Take the things that make you seem smaller out of the equation. And that's just a good first step.
Oh, great.
Okay, so did everybody have time to scan everything? Okay, so last one. So in the workbook is this. And what this is to help you sort of lean into the pillars. This is in there and you can fill it in. But think about the areas in your life that fall into security, empathy, luminosity, and fortitude, self. And think about what you want to improve upon in your own life. And there's an assessment that will help you kind of figure out some of those things. Because remember that it's not, confidence is a gift. Confidence isn't a gift. It's a decision. And if you make this decision every day, you can decide to be more confident instead of waiting to feel more confident. Thank you for your time. Thank you. That's it. A couple little snafus there, but that was here. I'll take the right. Exactly. Go have a drink. Have a drink. Okay. Thank you. I love it. Yeah, I was between cocktails and.
My God, you're amazing.
Thank you.
I just linked in with you. I did all 3 of them.
Good. What's
already.
your name?
Leslie Mujica.
Leslie
I'll give you my
Mujica.
card.
Okay, perfect.
So I work for the electrical union, but So that's my
That's
day
a tough job, boy. Woo!
My page is a man-dominated world, and plus we get people. So there's 3 people. I have 8 board members, and for the past 2 years, I have 3 of them that just hate me and want to destroy me because of the fact that when I walk into a room, people are like, "Hey Leslie, hey Leslie, hey Leslie."
You're like the mayor. You're like the mayor,
Yeah.
right? You're like the
Everybody
mayor.
knows me, and everybody